All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I have to put the mic closer. That's right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Beginning roll call, Rebecca Carabez, Alexis Lewis,
Present.
Shirley Melnico,
Here.
Halima Salahuddin,
Here.
Rob Solano,
Here.
and James Simmons.
Here.
Thank you.
Next item is our public comment that's open to the general public for any item that's not on the agenda. Everyone is limited to 2 minutes. Do we have any items for public comments?
Yes, we have one speaker slip. Members of the public, we are now moving on to item number 2. If you wish to speak, please use the raise hand feature on Zoom or submit a speaker slip up to the clerk. As a reminder, the commission may not discuss or take action on items not on the agenda. I'd like to call up Deacon Lauren McCombs to the podium. You have 2 minutes to speak. I'm sorry, can you press the button?
Now it's a green light. So that's green for go, right? Am I, okay, we're right on. Okay, so that didn't count my time. All right, here we go. My name is Deacon Lauren Patton McCombs, and I'm currently serving, as you well know, at Christ Episcopal Church in Portola Valley and Woodside. I'm a member of Peninsula Solidarity Cohort in fixing San Mateo County. On July 16, 2024, the Independent Civilian Oversight Commission was established, and you were sworn in to serve our county. It was a momentous day as ICAC was empowered to establish trust and transparency and reporting to the Board of Supervisors within the Sheriff's Office and letting what's going on within the Sheriff's Office to our community. I want to personally thank each and every one of you for your service and what you have done over the past year. At Fixing, we've brought up various concerns, including having a permanent inspector general to evaluate issues as they arise within the Sheriff's Office. We were so encouraged when you made that recommendation to the Board of Supervisors to hire a permanent inspector general in April. Unfortunately, the past year has not been great in terms of establishing trust and transparency within the Sheriff's Office, given that the Board of Supervisors is in the process of removing the sheriff from the office due to misconduct. In addition, the recent grand jury indictment of the Sheriff Corpus makes it all the more imperative for ICAC to continue to provide accountability and transparency to the public during these uncertain and difficult times. Over the past year, you have listened to various public comments bringing up the following important issues: deaths in our county jails, staff shortages within the sheriff's deputies, limited chaplain accessibility to incarcerated person, and lack of personal mail being received by incarcerated persons. At this crucial time, employees should please continue to meet monthly so that we can be informed and to understand how all the above issues are being dealt with. Thank you again for your service.
Thank you. And just for anyone else that's going to comment on this, monthly meetings is on the agenda. So if your comment is about that, can you wait until that agenda item? But this portion is for items that are not on the agenda if anyone else is going to speak.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Zoom public comment. We have 2 hands raised. We'll begin with X. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Yes, hello. This is Grace Exura. Last summer, I stumbled upon an Instagram account with the username thepeopleschamp_619. Based on several metrics, I strongly believe the account belongs to the past Commissioner Marco Durazo. There was no family pictures on the account from what I saw, only degrading and vile images of women, people with disability, and more. When confronted, Durazo claimed that I was stalking his family account, took screenshots of his kids, and thus he threatened to call the police on me. But I understand that later he claimed someone was impersonating him. After repeated attempts to have him removed from this commission on January 17th, I received an email from Assistant County Attorney Silberman stating that Durazo had made the decision to step down from the commission. Thus, the matter was closed as far as I was concerned. But at your April meeting, Colleen Moss stated that he was removed for missing 3 meetings in a row. This is not the truth. A public record request confirms that his attendance record does not show 3 consecutive absences when he resigned in January. When Colleen lied about why he was no longer on the commission, I felt like I had been violated, and she sat silently while I brought up this issue at the last meeting. She didn't correct the record, clarify her statement, or show any accountability. Let me be clear. This isn't about Durazo. This is about integrity of this commission. A false statement was made in what looks like an attempt to help Durazo and hurt me, and she failed to correct her statement when confronted. This makes me question her true motive for being on this commission. I am asking for Colleen Ma to be removed from this body. And if someone else fed her that false information, the public deserves to know who it was. This commission cannot claim to stand for oversight and justice while tolerating deceitfulness from its own members. Thank you for your time. And if anybody would like to see the information I have and all the evidence, I will gladly present it to them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, we have one more public comment. Commissioner Rasmussen, please unmute and begin when you're ready.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Johanna Rasmussen, and I'm the chair of the San Mateo County Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Commission. And I'm speaking this evening to raise serious concerns about an ongoing abuses that are occurring at the McGuire Correctional Facility in our county. According to multiple incarcerated individuals at the jail, there was an incident back on the evening of May 19th where correctional officers used unnecessary and excessive force on various inmates in the Unit 5 West, which is one of the pods on the 5th floor. While waiting to receive their medication, a couple of individuals got into an altercation with a CO, which was responded to by about 25 officers and devolved into what is described as a mass beating. According to inmates, everyone was zip-tied and forced to their knees during the search in response to the initial altercation. Many of these individuals were subjected to physical punishment and threats while cuffed as retaliation. Access to programming and recreation was also reduced. One individual reported being subjected to physical violence during this process, being repeatedly struck in the head. He was transferred to another pod where he suffered various blows against hard metal surfaces, a broken wrist, and a reported sexual assault. Another individual from the initial altercation was described as being left lying in his own urine after being beaten and tased for over a half hour. These are not isolated incidents and are systematic failures in this facility that is supposed to be responsible for the care and rehabilitation of our transitional age youth. We urge the ICAC to investigate these matters to ensure compliance not only with Title 15, but to ensure the Sheriff's Department and the correctional staff are held accountable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That concludes public comment.
Thank you. Unless there are any changes, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now moving on to a motion to approve the minutes from our January 4th meeting unless there are any changes. Thank you. A second. Second. Okay, great. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on, we have a presentation possibly from our sheriff's office regarding the newly formed Death in Custody Ad Hoc Committee and motion to appoint a member to ICAC to participate in the committee. Oh, are you going to hear to speak for that? Okay.
Hi, I'm George Dale, the liaison from the Sheriff's Office. Under Sheriff Pereiro is going to be here, and about 20 minutes ago told me he was held back by some emergency. I'm not sure what it was. There has been no further action since the last time we were here. There is an effort to gather the right stakeholders to look at something that got a lot of airtime here, which was an off-site diversion center of some sort, but nothing has happened on that. So that's not a very deep report, but that's the story.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I think one of the main reasons why we brought it back is so that we can vote to appoint two members or two members of this body wanted to be on the ad hoc committee. So we need to vote to go ahead and place them. And those were Commissioner Malconey and Simmons. I'm saying your last name wrong because I always say show Melicone. And so, unless there are any objections, if, do we want to make the recommendation that they both be placed?
I'd like to make the recommendation that they both be placed on their committee.
Through the chair, can I ask for clarification from George? George, can you clarify if they're asking for one or two representatives to sit on this ad hoc committee? I think that was the question that Under Sheriff was supposed to provide some clarity on.
2 is fine. We brought it here just as an FYI. It sort of grew a life of its own, but that's great. And so 2 would be great.
Okay, thank you for the
And
clarification.
we're just gonna go ahead and send them. Yeah, no, I can hear. So you had a motion?
Yes, I had a motion to,
Okay. Okay, so was there a second? Okay, so do you want to make a comment? Go ahead.
Just a point of order. Am I allowed to make a comment after there's been a
Yeah.
motion and second?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. I was not at the last meeting, and so if this was not, was answered at the last meeting, that's my fault for not reviewing that information. But I just had questions on this ad hoc committee. What is the stated purpose? How many times does it meet? Who else is on the committee? Additional information, was that already, all of that information already shared?
So we had a presentation or a speaker came and spoke about the committee, but all of that information we've asked for more clarification on it too. We've gotten some, but not everything. So I think they're still in the process of developing it, but I think to get more clarification, I would go directly to the sheriff.
Yeah, my recollection is that there was, the undersheriff announced it, but they haven't offered a presentation about the composition or exactly how it's going to work.
So obviously defer to this body to make decisions, but it seems a little premature from my perspective to be appointing someone to the body that we don't know the nature of. And that's my comment.
And that was the intent, through the chair, that was the intent of tonight's meeting, to better understand the purpose, the frequency, the duration, who is participating, and how it would be run.
Mhm.
George, do you have any of that information that you could present?
To the best of my knowledge, this is a group of people getting together and talking about what are there any best practices. So the words committee, task force, Robert's Rules of Order, all these other things have not really been the point. This was a group of people saying, is there a point to getting together a group? It hasn't gotten together. There's no group. There is no mission and all those other kinds of structure. It's basically was a meeting called to talk about whether or not there are things to talk about. So when it is true, if you guys think it's premature, that's fine, no problem. We're just trying to get to what are the best practices and what are some of the projects that we can pull together some stakeholders to do from the sheriff's office, from without the sheriff's, outside the sheriff's office. So this is sort of a concept about a concept at this point. That has not been determined yet. We reached out to the people that work at the jail, the 2 lieutenants, the behavioral health folks, Dr. Africa, if I got that right. That's it. So this has not been fully formed.
Oh, your mic's not on.
Sorry about that. It was my understanding that the committee already met.
There was
And so I would defer to this committee to decide if one, you could always invite the sheriff's office to come back to present, like the undersheriff was going, presented at a later time, and report back information. That's an option.
Well, so Rob asked me first and then I'll kick it over to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have many questions. Just recently, the coroner's office came up with a finding saying that a correctional officer wasn't properly trained and there was an overdose death just recently. I mean, you know, it's important
The brakes on.
committee that we go forward with this, and it appears that you're not being forthright with us as a commission. I mean, part of being this commission is to be a participative member for the sheriff's office. And once again, the sheriff is not here. The undersheriff is not here. There isn't anyone here other than yourself. And are you a sworn employee, sir?
I'm a contractor.
You're a contractor, so you're not even a county employee. Well, it's very sad that this has come in front of us now. And I want to apologize to my other commission members. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify my understanding of what happened last month, because I was reached out to, and it was presented as having a meeting to review the presentation. So this wasn't a formal committee or anything like that. You know,
Is it on?
so it was not a formal committee or anything of that nature. It was a meeting to review the presentation that was given to us at that meeting. That's my understanding. That's how it was presented to me. And that's how.
You haven't had the presentation yet.
There was something that happened last month that they talked about. What was that?
I can clarify.
That wasn't the present, that wasn't. the
Not an
presentation
agendized
that-
topic. That
Okay.
wasn't a formal
Right.
presentation.
Well, hold on,
Um,
everybody, hold on.
And so just for
Emma,
clarity,
one sec.
it
one
was
sec.
not, it wasn't
One
part
second,
of your
Emma,
announcement.
one
Sorry.
sec, one sec. Yeah. Yeah, so I think semantics on what was and what wasn't, to me, is not really the issue here. I think the issue is, if there's a discussion about deaths in the jails, I would like people from this commission to be in the meeting. They both offered to be in there. I'm fine with it. So I'm, just projecting what I'm gonna vote on in a second, but I would love to get more details about the purpose, the goals, et cetera, who else is gonna be on there. But for right now, getting more information isn't going to change me saying if 2 people are volunteering their time to do it, let them go ahead and get that information, whatever, regardless of what it is, and bring it back to the body. There is a problem we've seen with getting folks sometimes to talk about, from the higher sheriff. I don't know if the sheriff is gonna be there, et cetera, to come here. So if that's where the sheriff is going to be, then they can go hear everything that's happening and bring it back. That's my thoughts on it. And then at the same time, parallel, trying to continue to get as much information as possible. So opening up to anyone else if they have, go ahead, Shirley.
I would just like to say that it was the undersheriff that invited this committee to participate in the ad hoc. It wasn't our idea. And I thought it was a wonderful, transparent offer. And I think we are very interested in the deaths in the jail. To look really, not to place blame or anything like that, but to really look to see how we can help change policies and procedures so future deaths can be prevented. And I think you're having people that are looking at it from a fresh perspective and not worrying about, oh my God, is it my people that did this? So I think it's useful, and I really think that we should be involved.
And then whoever, we need the undersheriff to get back to us with more information on plans. It would be nice to know the meeting dates, when the frequency of the meetings, et cetera.
I can absolutely tell you that none of that has been resolved.
Yeah, I understand. And when that happens,
Yeah.
if we can get that as soon as possible.
I can commit to that.
Any other questions or comments on this?
Just for clarification purposes, what did we witness last month when the sheriffs talked? Because I'm looking at the agenda and it says presentation, deaths in custody. And I'm just hearing that there was no presentation.
No, there was a presentation on deaths in custody. There wasn't a presentation on the ad hoc committee purpose. And
Right.
how that
So
was.
the comment that I was making was giving clarity of of what was asked and how it was presented to me. But I was told that that wasn't the case. I wasn't saying anything about them offering any positions about any ad hoc positions. I was just saying there was a presentation here last month. I was invited to that just as any person from the community could have been invited to, and that's what happened. This is nothing formal yet.
Correct.
Again, coincided with Mr. Dale is saying. So I just want to make sure I'm not.
Oh, so just to clarify, you were at there's been one meeting of this group so far.
Yes, to review.
And you were at that meeting?
Correct.
Yes. So there's been one meeting of the committee that they formed.
No, it's not a committee.
Okay.
It was a meeting of people getting together, like you said, just to look at that presentation that they.
So
presented.
I just asked him the question and he said, yes, did that qualify as a meeting of the committee?
Now you were pretzeling semantics.
Mhm.
It was as Mr. Simmons said,
Mm-hmm.
got together, looked at the presentation that ultimately was presented here by the sheriff's office
Mhm.
on the statistics and all that. Comments were made. And during that conversation, we said it would be great to have a group of people
Ah, okay.
get together.
Okay.
We presented that beforehand and afterwards to this meeting to engage public comment.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in that process. I just don't have anything to report from last June.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that there hasn't been meetings, doesn't mean that there hasn't been investigations and all that. It was that group of people, which is not a committee,
Mm-hmm.
said it would be a good idea. We're all on the same page here. This is-
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What I recall is that the undersheriff was in front of us and said that there was the establishment of this ad hoc committee, number one. Number two, I had specifically asked the two correctional lieutenants involving this current death, okay, if it was involved with a correctional officer that didn't go through the specific training that he should have had. And I was pretty much muted by our county attorney about the actual results of the investigation, which appeared in media saying that he was not properly trained. So the thing I don't understand is, one, why the sheriff or the undersheriff or even those two correctional lieutenants are not present here. It's put on our agenda. I mean, we're all sitting here and we have an audience here that are concerned about the deaths in the jail as we are. And it just doesn't seem like there's a honest effort in order to give us the information that we need, not only as a commission, but as to the community itself. So I'm upset.
And so that I'm feeling similarly, and also because the undersheriff was here prior to the meeting that you're talking about and established, it said, we're going to have a committee. Shirley had offered to be on it. Then they had a meeting. We weren't informed because Shirley could have been at that meeting. We weren't informed about the meeting. So that's why I think there's some confusion, because there was an announcement of an ad hoc committee, and then the undersheriff came to the last meeting of this body and said that that meeting qualified as a meeting of the committee. And so either it was or it wasn't. That's the part that's frustrating for me, is there needs to be some clarity on what's happening, when the meetings are taking place. So not just for us or for our members that we appoint to participate, but the broader community as well, if they want to go, and we can inform the broader community. So that's why I would like some clarity on, as soon as possible, when the meeting is happening. And then before the meeting's taking place, if there's questions that we have as our representatives, I can get them to them in a timely manner so that they can represent the body well. So whenever we can get the information, that would be great. Yeah.
Should we go along with the motion to appoint our two commission members?
So we have the motion and we have the second. So it's just a
Sorry,
vote, but just in case we have public comment.
okay. So Moving on to public comment. Members of the public, if you wish to comment on item number 5, please use the raise hand feature on Zoom or bring a speaker slip up to the clerk during this time. We do have one speaker slip. Can Trina Patton come up to the podium? You have 2 minutes to speak.
Hello, and thank you, Mr. Silvana. Thank you very much for your comments. I am in agreement. And one thing I'm concerned about is I think it would be a great idea to have people from here go to that meeting. But in the spirit of transparency, I want to know, what is this meeting? Is it bound by Brown Brown Act rules? Is it something that the public can attend? How do people find out about this meeting? And then is this a meeting something where people here attend can bring back information and share it? Or is it going to be, oh no, this is all confidential and you can't talk about it? So I think there really does need to be more structure, even if it is informal. I think people need to know how they can attend, what it's about, what can be talked about, what information might be received, and basically just have it be open so that people understand what's going on. When people try to just say, oh no, that wasn't a committee, it was just a meeting. Well, I didn't know about the meeting. Maybe I wanted to go, because I do care about the deaths in the jail. So again, fully support having people from this body attend something like that, but I would like to know really what that is and what the parameters are. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Zoom public comment. We have one hand raised. Bill Newell, you can begin when you're ready.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I would just second what Trina just said. I think all these meetings need to be public, and specifically they need to be agendized and posted just like any other meeting so the public knows when and where these meetings are being held. Secondly, I want to put a little more context on the whole business of this committee, and that is, we all know at this point, 6 people have died in the jail since January of 23. 2 were by suicide and 3 were drug related. And then with the 6th one, we just recently are finding out more information about. Throughout the state, many deaths we know are suicidal or drug related. Our jails are not equipped to serve as treatment centers. This issue is way bigger than the jail. We need to step back and take a systems view. Our county, our ICAC, our ad hoc committees needs to do better. We need secure clinical settings where people in crisis can be diverted. The Behavioral Health Commission recommended 24-hour crisis stabilization centers, and National Association of Mental Illness has also spoken out for safer conditions in those crises. We need an independent outside review of the deaths in the jail with an eye to preventing future deaths. It needs to be independent of the people inside the jail themselves. This is a systems problem. The county needs to look at why we are using our jail as a mental health hospital, health clinic, and detox center. This is not their job. We need community resources that can offer diversion. Why not the Behavioral Health Commission recommendation for a 24-hour drop-in stabilization center in lieu of jail when appropriate? Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from any of the commissioners?
I have a question. When we asked for the correctional facility day shift schedule and the different scheduling of the personnel, we were provided their daily work schedules.
Yeah, but on this topic, we're on the agenda item about the commission appointing folks to this committee.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Okay.
If I could inquire as to that, since we are talking about the jail. And it was something that we requested to go through the personnel issues.
Right, but is it about being on the committee?
Well, it's related to the jail. That's why I was just asking if we could discuss that. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, this.
But that sounds like it's tangentially related. I don't know exactly what about the scheduling you wanted to raise at this
Yeah,
point.
we were provided the actual different shift schedules
Yes.
the jail. And we were given in their presentation where they said that they had 463 personnel, and this shows a different story. And that's why I wanted to ask if we could ask questions about that. It talks about the realistic assignments that are have, and I see that there are 8 or 9 different vacant slots.
So for me,
Go ahead,
this,
Selena.
the presentation is on the ad hoc committee. So,
I would have made the same comment.
yeah.
I think that's
Okay,
out.
that's fine.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
just
outside of
asking a
what's been
question.
agendized.
No worries. Okay, so we have the motion in the second. Unless there are any other comments,
Through the chair, just to clarify, I
Yeah.
have the motion sent from Solano, but who was the second?
somebody seconded it. Anyway, do I have a second? I believe
I
it
made
was,
the motion.
oh,
I think Shirley?
no, Rebecca did.
Rebecca.
Thank
Rebecca
you.
did. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're moving on to item number 6 is a discussion about possible presentation to the Board of Supervisors on ICAC and about, our work plans, progress, and an annual update because it is our 1-year anniversary. Opening it up for, is this something that we want to do? And if so, topics that we would like to discuss. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I think since we're coming up against the 1-year anniversary of this commission, that we should do some kind of a report. I think it would be helpful for us to say how much the sheriff's office has actually participated or not participated. What we did have in terms of timeframes and goals, and what are some of the obstacles. I think it's also important for us to keep reporting what the public is offering to us, to say, this is a priority, this is what we want to see the ICAC doing. So I think we should do a presentation. I don't think it's going to be with a lot of, I just think we need to report just what's been happening, even when a lot of things haven't been happening from this commission.
Anyone else have a comment? Rob?
I would like especially our work plan with our group that Shirley had prepared as our scribe. I would like the sheriff's office input on this, on our different areas, and how, since they are a participative member of our commission, to go over some of these areas that we've discussed, the neighborhoods, open-ended questions, what type of a survey, if they've had any past surveys, and to, with the sheriff's office, schedule meetings to have them as a co-participant, within the different community areas that we would go into. So I would like the sheriff's participation in our presentation, since it does involve the community and does involve the sheriff's office. and our
To the Board of
oversight.
Supervisors.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you.
no worries. James?
Would this be a meeting during their regular meetings, monthly meetings?
Yes, we will put on their agenda.
Okay, okay, yeah, no, I do think that it would be great for us to provide an update and presentation on the work that we've been doing over the last 12 months. So I would be in agreement with that.
How's that? Sure, I'm gonna go to Shirley and I'll go back to you.
Madam Chair, so the other things is that I think we've got some successes. And it's just by being here. One is the religious services have increased in the jails, and they were very limited. The other thing is that one of our first concerns was getting the inmates the right to vote. And the sheriff contacted the League of Women Voters, and actually worked on getting inmates the right to vote and get them registered. So I mean, that's a beginning, and those are some of the things that I think we should put in our report. That's positive. I even think that the fact that the sheriff's department did come to us and ask that we could participate on an ad hoc basis on their committee on deaths in the jail is also a positive. So put that on, along with, the fact that, as Rob said, our community engagement meetings, because we've had some conversation on that, and we've got a small committee, and we're making some progress in that line. And I think you're making some progress also with the question of the mail and the inmates.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Just to add to what Shirley said, I think we could also give a report that we all took a tour of the jails and were able to speak to some of the officers. I think it's important for us to just say what we've tried to do in this last year, and what we've been hearing from the community, and how we've been trying to put those ideas forward, those recommendations forward.
I would also say possibly combining it with the presentation on the recommendations for moving forward, especially on the possible appointment of the inspector general. And then also just to get some clarification on, or some direction from them on what they would like to see from us. Because we haven't had, we do have a representative from one of the supervisors here today, but it still would be nice to get some more clarification on, after we present, this is what we're working on. We're advisors to them. Is there anything that they would like to see us advise them on? Because right now we've been all picking and choosing things that we think are important, but is there anything else that may be important to them that they would like us to look into as well? So I think that would also be very helpful. And I think there's other things. I mean, they are the oversight. And so I would also, there's some urgency around things that are reported to us that I would like to also elevate to them. Is there a way that in the meantime, while we're working on trying to find a bridge and a way that people feel safe in order to report certain things, because right now with everything going on, I wouldn't blame someone for not wanting to report certain things to certain bodies. Is there something that they can do in the interim to provide us a safe space to collect information, specifically, things we've heard even tonight, so that action can still be taken while we're in the middle of trying to find new leadership and other things, et cetera. So those are the things that I think would be good to also discuss.
Is this something, because as we're talking about relationships between us and them, is that something that we can work on and devise something more formally where we have that communication? I mean, I know I can make a phone call, but as far as everyone else knowing, I mean, are they hearing what's going on in these meetings? Because there are things that are urgent that we can't wait for a year to report back after we have a retreat and all of that type of stuff. So it would be nice to have some structure and some understanding on how we can get these things elevated in a more timely manner on a regular basis.
Kalima, through the
Yes.
chair. I wanted just to clarify, we have two representatives from two different districts.
Sorry, we have two representatives here today.
Yeah. And
I can't see behind me.
yeah,
So,
sorry.
I
We
mean,
have
and my kids are grown, so we can let that myth go now.
And the other thing is, that's the purpose of them attending, is they are the communication to, and they represent each of their districts and as an ad hoc committee.
So they're representing here, but there still hasn't been discussion from them to us about what they would like their, or this, the direction or any direction that their supervisors would like us to take. So, that would be great. Yep.
I didn't say my name before, but I'm Jackie Rigoni, and I'm Chief of Staff for Supervisor Corzo, representing District 2, and I'm here with Marisol representing Supervisor Ray Mueller's office too. I'm sure there's plenty of thoughts from the supervisors, but truly the role of this body is to advise the board, not the other way around. And so it seems counter to what the role of this body is. And so I'm open to, delivering that to Supervisor Corzo as a request, but I think that I believe that would be her response. But happy to take it to her and let you all know.
Okay, because I'm on other committees, and supervisors have been in there, and they've had opinions. So, there's precedent, is what I'm saying.
May I ask you what the deadline is? I mean, what's our time frame for?
I think it's up to us. Whenever we're ready to go, we
The
can
annual?
be asked to be put on the agenda.
The update to the supervisors. What's that the report's supposed to be in?
So I'm hearing no behind me quietly. Is that directed? No? Are you- Oh, no, okay. The only thing that's time specific is my presentation, but I don't know when that is because there's still things in flux about when they're going to start working on the process to replace the sheriff. And so part of my presentation is on replacing the sheriff. But the other piece that's on the inspector general, like we can also just pull that out and just present on the inspector general piece. And then I can come back and speak later about replacing the sheriff. So again, I think it's when we can pull something together. No. I will, in case anyone has anything else, I can just go to public comment and then come back to us. Okay, I'm gonna go to public comment. Any public comment on this?
Okay, members of the public, if you wish to speak on item number 6, please use the raise hand feature on Zoom or bring a speaker slip up to the clerk. You'll have 2 minutes to speak. There is no public comment.
Okay, great. So I think I can maybe work and start pulling a presentation together. I think it would, one caveat, it would be have to come back to our next meeting so everyone can review it and approve it to move forward. So that's going to be one piece of the timeline. So I will try to get it together. And if maybe 1 or 2 of you can now, I think, how many can help me? 2 to 3. Okay, great. Rebecca is going to help. Anyone else wants to help? And then we can pull something together and then have it ready. Okay.
I can
perfect.
help you.
Okay, so we can figure out between this side, some folks to help pull together a presentation and then have a draft ready for possible approval at our next meeting. That works for everyone. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, moving on. Approval of our meeting recess schedule for July. Our regular meeting schedule. So regular meetings are right now, sorry. So this is just to have our July meeting canceled, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So this is just to give us a break for July.
It aligns with
And
the
it
Board of
aligns.
Supervisors with
There you go.
recess.
It aligns with the Board of Supervisors who are also on a summer recess break in July. So the only issue is then I would come back in August with the presentation. That gives us a little more time to pull it together, which works for me. So Sorry, next July. July 2026? Darn it.
We missed it.
We missed it. Oh, we are really planning in advance. Look at us. So I think I'm okay granting this body in July 2026 the okay to take the day the meeting off. So can I get a motion? Any second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, now this is the one that I thought it was. So this is a discussion on our meeting schedule.
Sorry, I think we need
Oh.
to take public comment.
Oh, sorry. Is there any public comment? We already I already voted, so I messed that up.
But there's no public comment. But
Okay.
that-
So on 8, I know there may be some public comment, so I won't make the same mistake on this item. But on this item, we've been in operation for a year, so bring it up if our meeting schedule and like meeting cadence is okay. If we want to keep the same meeting schedule or perhaps switch it. Yeah, we're on 8. So opening it up for any discussion. The options are up here. If we want to keep the same cadence that we have or perhaps try another option. I don't know if there's any opinion.
Thank you. I believe we should stay with monthly meetings. And I read the agenda and I just wrote a comment that I wanted to read. And I wrote it because I don't want to leave anything out.
Sure.
I believe that all the concerns and issues within the sheriff's office have become a significant and costly distraction for the county. There are matters that deserve the attention of the Board of Supervisors and the county staff and the use of our tax dollars. That said, I remain confident and supportive of this mission and the mission of this commission, and I believe that it's important that we meet monthly to ensure the outcomes are positive, and I'm proud to be a member of this commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on this before I open up the public comment? Go ahead, Shirley.
I agree with Alexis. I think that it's useful for us to meet monthly because things then happen. Just by being here, we're able to help, I think, the sheriff's department.
Thank you. Rob, did you want to? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, to open up to public comment.
Members of the public, if you wish to speak on item number 8, please use the raise hand feature on Zoom or submit a speaker slip up to the clerk during this time. We have one speaker slip. Trina Patton, please come up to the podium. You have 2 minutes to speak.
Hello again, and I apologize. Last time I spoke, I didn't introduce myself, but I'm Trina Patton from Belmont, and I just want to offer my support as well for monthly meetings. I think that when all the dust has settled with everything going on with the sheriff's office, there will still be issues that need to be looked at and addressed and talked about by this body to be advised to the board about. We heard some tonight about something going on at McGuire, deaths in the jail, continuing to monitor the voting and the religious services. And so I think monthly meetings definitely allow this body to stay up on things that are happening. And I offer full support for taking the month of July off as well, because everybody needs to rest. So thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 raised hands on Zoom. I'd like to start with X and then we'll follow with Bill Newell. X, you may begin when you're ready.
Yes, this is Grace Schwab again. I would advocate for meeting as little as possible, if not completely disbanding this group to waste their resources. Obviously, this group only has the prisoners' interests at heart, as well as the speakers that speak and say the same darn thing at every single meeting that you've had. Nobody has raised any effort to contact me. I spoke at the last meeting about the truth of what Kali Ma lied about to everybody. It's disgusting, it's vile, it's hypocritical. I want to share a couple of the postings that I saw. One was a lady choking a man against the wall, and I don't know exact terminology, but it said something to the
I don't want it. She's going to read something graphic. So I just don't want to, if you're going to talk about something that's graphic, I don't know if it's appropriate at this meeting, and it's not, and what you're discussing is not the agenda item at hand. So unless you're discussing the current agenda, I would just like to stay on topic. Thank you.
This is about why I think you should meet as little as possible. I have a right to say. And the reason is because I believe you have seen these images. And obviously you consider them vile because you thought I was going to talk about the ones that were extremely vile. So one of them was a lady holding a man against a wall, choking him, saying that everybody wants a strong, independent lady until they have a strong, independent lady. Another one was a video of a baby crawling across a floor to a dog that
Let her go.
let me go. A baby crawling across the floor to a dog that was sleeping and then promptly playing with his private parts. I don't think that's appropriate. And for Kamali, whatever her name is, to lie about why Durazo is no longer on this commission is absolutely disgusting. She has no business being here and should be removed immediately. I will be escalating this and I will be bringing in pictures and videos of everything I saw on that site and exactly why I believe it belongs to him. And then you could see what happens, because this is unacceptable that people are not held accountable and are able to lie at these meetings. I will not stop until I get an apology from Kamali, whatever her name is.
I apologize.
Moving on, we have Bill Newell, and then we'll follow with Eric Sapp.
Yeah, I just want to applaud and thank each member of the commission for your deep commitment to all the issues of our sheriff's office and the need for oversight and the need for an inspector general. And I would also agree with a regular schedule of meeting each month. In particular, in the immediate upcoming months going forward, the inspector general is going to be an immediate priority, and then there's the importance of oversight and how those things will become more of a priority moving ahead with a transition, if we have a transition of a new sheriff. Although these issues are independent of whoever's in office, the priorities and the needs for continued transparency and accountability, as you know, and many of us know, are still there. And I think you all doing critically important work, and it's of utmost importance that you continue to meet on a monthly schedule as you do. And again, I really appreciate everybody's commitment and insights and sensitivity, not only to what you're doing and talking about, but also trying to include members of the public who are also committed to finding social justice within our sheriff's office. And once again, I would just reiterate, it's more than just about the jails itself. It's a system-wide issues that we're talking about, that you're talking about. So again, a regular monthly schedule with a month off next year if you need it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last speaker will be Eric Sapp. You may begin when you're ready.
Hello, my name is Eric Sapp, resident of Redwood City. I'd like to urge this body to select option A of the options on the agenda, that is monthly meetings. I think it's important for this body to meet as often as possible so that it can fulfill its role of advising the Board of Supervisors so as to increase accountability, transparency, and public engagement. I think the work of this body has already been unduly limited as a consequence of the way the resolution creating this body was drafted. There's a tension in that resolution between two things. One, the premise of it was that it was implementing 1185, Assembly Bill 1185, which created 25-303.7 of the government code. On the one hand, which subdivision B of that code, that statute gives the chair of a sheriff's oversight board a subpoena power. On the other hand, the resolution that the Board of Supervisors passed denied a subpoena power to this body. Those things are a blatant contradiction, and it seems, in my opinion, that it was not lawful for the county to deny this body a subpoena power. This board might bring that matter in its advisory role to the Board of Supervisors' attention and get it to revise the resolution and give the chair of this board a subpoena power in order to conduct necessary investigations as Government Code 25303.7 envisions. In any event, I encourage this body to adopt the monthly meeting schedule. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Great. So, do I have a motion on this item? Which one? For A, okay. Any second? Second? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, great, thank you. And so now moving on to either commissioner or liaison announcements. Any announcements? Oh, great. Okay, so now I am going to adjourn this portion of the meeting, and we're just gonna take, maybe give you guys 10 minutes, a 10-minute recess, and then we're gonna come back for the second portion, which is a special meeting to discuss items that were given to us, the reports that we just recently came about on the sheriff. So
And-
that's a special meeting that's starting at 7:30.
And it's a different link for
Mm,
anybody that's. on
right,
the
so
link,
in-
It's a different link.
Thank you for that reminder. So if you are on Zoom, since there are two different meetings, there are two different links. So you have to log out of this meeting and log back into the second meeting that's starting at 7:30. So 10-minute recess, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.